Hey there, welcome back to the Meat Thinker channel. I've been gone for a few weeks because of the flu that's been going around that took me completely out of commission, and I just got my voice back to be able to talk without coughing. So I want to make a public service announcement. Please make sure to wash your hands, get enough sleep, exercise, and take vitamins and zinc to stay healthy. Let's get into today's brisket. I really did not have this in the plan for this week's video, but I went to Costco and saw this handsome brisket and thought, why not? So here we are. Let's see what today's rub looks like. I'm using 2 parts coarse ground black pepper and 1 part Lawry seasoned salt and 1 part garlic powder. Shake it well, and now you have the rub. Set this aside and let's go trim the brisket. This part is a bit long, so if you want to skip it, go ahead and fast forward to 5-minute mark. I'm starting off from the meat side. Brisket trimming number 1 is removing the decal fat. This part is a solid chunk of fat that isn't going to cook anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and take it off. And go ahead and remove the fat on the other areas along with the silver skin. If you want to skip this part, that's fine too. Next is the fat side. I'm starting off with removing the mohawk. That's sitting on top of the point meat that has a lot of fat on it. I'm going to take it down so it doesn't burn up during the cook. There isn't any exact science to it. I just want to make sure I'm removing enough fat off the top and leave about 1/4 inch thick fat on the meat. If you end up cutting deep and exposing the meat, it's not the end of the world. Leave it as is and proceed to the rest of the areas. Now it's time for some seasoning. I don't usually use any binders because it doesn't seem to make much difference. To me, the moisture on the brisket is enough for my rub to stick for that good part. Make sure to cover the entire surface, including the edges all the way around. The rub ratio was pepper heavy, so don't be afraid of over salting the brisket. Make sure to cover the brisket evenly and you will end up with good bark. I usually start the brisket around 10 p.m. on Fridays because you have all night to cook low and slow and have enough time if brisket ends up cooking a little longer. Now set the smoker to 200 and place the brisket in the smoker until the internal temperature reaches 180 degrees. Since I'm using a pellet smoker, I'll make sure to leave the hopper full of pellets and check back in the morning. The brisket has been in the smoker for about 10 hours and the temperature is at 178. I'm going to pull the brisket and put it on a full boat. I'm using my good old regular size aluminum foil in 4 layers. Roll up the edges to turn it into a full boat, and simple and easy. Now put the full boat back in the smoker and bump the smoker temperature to 250 degrees. We'll finish cooking when it reaches 200 degrees of internal temperature. It took about 3 hours to get to 200 degrees. Now the brisket is done and ready for the next step, resting. Instead of placing the brisket in the cooler, I usually put this brisket in the oven at the lowest setting at 170 degrees. The brisket rested in the oven for about 4 hours. Let's check and see how it turned out. Poking it with your finger, it is very mushy. It's got a very nice dark bark and it smells pretty good. Drizzle the render fat onto the brisket. This looks pretty amazing. As I shake the cutting board, you can see the brisket jiggle. This is a good sign. Let's cut it down in the middle and see how it turned out. Ooh yeah. Check it out. All that juice is oozing out. I could just skip the slicing part and bite into this chunk. But let's do it the right way and slice it into this flat side. It passes the finger rest test and the pull test. It comes up with no resistance. I'm taking a bite out of it, and yep, it tastes like heaven. Since I replaced the kosher salt with seasoned salt, it did taste different, but I don't think it was as good as the kosher salt, so I'll stick with the regular kosher salt next time.
Guys, you want some brisket? 이번엔 그냥 말자. Yes, hold on.
Let's slice into the point meat, and yes, it is also on the money. Another brisket success in the books. Do you mix your own rub for your brisket, or do you use any particular brands? Please share your favorite brisket rub in the comment section, and I'll give it a try next time. If you enjoyed my video, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, check out my Instagram handle @meatthinker. Thank you for watching, and keep me thinking.